Hello builders of the internet and welcome to this video where I will be attempting to build a request today in automation of a rival for a Ford Fusion 2.7 V6. So I'm on the wrong filter here. I want to filter by the last 10 years because although this video will go up in 2018, it is still 2017 technology. I'm going to be using a 2017 essentially technology and everything in the car. Now we have various vehicles. We need to hopefully match up the exterior dimensions. Also thanks to Tony's Retro Gaming for suggesting this video. And we have various ones. That's called a convertible, but I suspect there will be a hardtop available as well. So no particular issue available there. Available. Am I even using my words correctly? Anyway, we have the length, the height and the width, excluding mirrors, available to us to see how we can compare it to the Ford. Now, the Ford is 191.8 long inches. So, what do we have here? Does it say? Does it say somewhere? 206 meters. Now I can't really compare them, but somehow this does look similar. It looks kind of like a 1 Series BMW, which I think is the right kind of size to go after. I kind of like all of the 2009 convertible bodies. They seem to be all we've got, oddly enough. I haven't selected a specific filter, have I, other than the era? No? I think I'll give this one a try, see if there's a hardtop variant of it. It's not excessively large, so it should be vaguely relevant for what I'm trying to build here. Now, for the panel material, it'll be aluminium. I don't know what the Ford uses, but it's probably aluminium. We have unitary, and we'll have AHS steel for the chassis. AHS lightweight, I don't know. Again, I don't know what these cars are using, so I'll just use AHS steel. It's worked before, well enough for me. And we're not building a high-performance car or anything, so we don't need to go too crazy. Well, we kind of are, but we're not building an ultra-high-performance car in this case. We have front longitudinal engine placement, and we can have various suspension types. Now, I'm noticing you can have solid axle leaf here, but it's a saloon car. Why would we need that on the front? It's really beyond me. Off-roaders, perhaps. Now, the Ford has McPherson struts up front and multi-link up rear. Interesting that. Is that really multi-link? Because it seemed to be showing something that looked more like pushrod when I was on it before. I'm sure multi-link used to look more like that. Maybe they've changed something. Or maybe it's just without the wheels on. Anyway, I thought I'll go double wishbone front and double wishbone rear. Therefore, I kind of compromise on the rear suspension. However, I make the front suspension better, so it kind of brings the car into a bit more balance. Which, if we go with 50/50 all-wheel drive, we will get as well. Now, we can go along here. This is the body it was suggesting, so in that case, it is a convertible, yes, but as I suspected, we have got hardtops available. Ooh. You know what? I think we could make it an estate. I think it would look quite good. Does it look better as a saloon or an estate? It looks good as either of them, to be honest, for a modern car. So, I think I'll select the estate, yeah. Bring that back a bit. Hopefully have a bit more weight balance over the rear. I know on the front wheel drive variants this won't particularly matter, however on the all wheel drive variants it will. We can flare the arches a bit because it is a sport model. We do want slightly wider tyres. Don't want to go crazy wild, but there's nothing particularly against it when the car is intentionally sporty. We can go with brutal black. I just thought though, if you actually go, I don't know, I'm doing it wrong. But if we go, say, paint the car pink and we go on bumpers, that's useful if you want plastic bumpers. They wouldn't work so well on modern cars like this. However, on an older car where the bumpers aren't quite so big, it would work. So I think for now we'll go with I would say red, but I don't know. It looks a bit generic. Oh well, it'll have to do for the time being. We can have some pop-up lights. Probably not, really. They do look really odd on here. Anyway, what else do we have? We have these, which may actually work quite well. Not in this variant. Try the more modern-looking variant. I'm thinking of going for a more ETK K-series, not K-series, 800 series kind of look with this. Seems like it would suit the car in general. It is, I think, basically a German car, so it really would fit on the design front there. And I think for the time being I'll give those a try, although they're a little softer than I would like. Everything is a bit sharper these days in terms of design. Try fitting an old Mercedes grille on. Why? I'm not particularly sure, I just want to. And I don't like that, personally, not one bit. I think we need a smaller grille between the headlights. And can we use this? Does this work at all? Or is this more of an old car thing? It does not like being stretched, that's for sure. Unless I make it like that, then maybe it'll cover the gaps, but still. Okay, so number plate. We can have eco, since with all the power it's going to be anything but economical. Oh no, wait, we have different. Yeah, you what? We need that one, because this is going to be driven by angry young men. So, we need a threatening number plate. You what plate? You can sit on there. And grill. This one looks like it would be quite good. Oh, there's not the chrome as pictured. On the picture it looked like there's some chrome around it, but not in reality. That's a shame. Really is. But that can sit there. No, it needs to be a bigger grille. It just doesn't quite fit in the car with too small a grille. There we go. Does that look any better though? Really? Can we rotate those just a touch? I think I've made it look vaguely okay. Tail light indicator, whatever. Do we need some indicators? Probably not. Some kind of fog lights are probably more prominent, unless there's no indicators on there, which seems very odd. You know what, I'm going with indicators. Even if I don't technically need them. I'll go with these ones. There are the others, which are these, which are a little sharper, but since I'm going with a softer look for this car, I think they would work. I don't want them to be too big. They only need to be little tiny doodads on the front bumper. There we go. Can we move the front? No. The front is one unit. We can't just have a little lip. Or actually kind of can. Just we have to add it afterwards. This one is kind of what I have in mind. Just if this is added properly, it probably won't add anything aerodynamically. Not in this version of the game at least. But I can just about get it working visually, I think. Like such. Now, I don't want huge amounts of grill on this. That's the thing. That's why I would be doing it this way. Look at that. Beautiful. So, what other badges can we get? I want a kind of strange badge. Ooh. Did yes, I have to go with one of these. I'm sorry, it just works in my weird mind. In my mind, this is a Ford badge. So, yeah. The weird world of my mind. I might just call it the triangle even. Because that's just how I think. Ooh, is that too big? I don't know. I'm liking the front of this actually. A lot more than I thought I would initially. I thought I would hate it when I first added that lower grille on. But no, it's grown on me. I could give it another moustache like the mini thing I built last time, but I won't do that. Not now, at least. We can have a fuel cap. Yeah, let's have a different to body coloured one because sportiness. Is that on the correct side? I don't know. I think I'm getting used to the UK, but I'm guessing at least because American cars are designed to be driven on the other side of the road. They have those on the other side. I'm not sure of this at all. I've not looked it up, but it's just a guess, really. So that's something. I could actually look on the Ford webpage. So there isn't a fuel filler cap there by the looks of it, no. Not on the picture they've provided. It looks like it must be on this side then. Okay. So, there we go. Is that big enough? I think it needs to be a little bigger, at least in my mind, to make it look right. And then, I don't know, it just stands out a little too much. We can change it, thankfully. There we go. Chrome looks slightly better than just black plastic. Still don't look great, but it looks slightly better. We can go with a grill down here, or vents, better still. We can go with these ones. Yes, I actually like this. It gives it kind of a continuation from the grill above in the way it slopes down. Should be good for bumpers, structure as well. If I extend... I don't want to extend those out that much though. I was thinking of kind of absorbing the indicator lights within them. But I don't want to go that far with where I expand it to. So you can hopefully snap into place. And these can go... there, maybe? There we go. I'll admit it's not my best work yet, but I've done worse. I've made worse looking cars than this. It's just I try to keep the cooling to a minimum, but it doesn't quite work when I try and do that, because you just don't need stupid amounts of cooling. It's pointless, but then it's often a necessity for the visualities of things. Yes, you will have a moustache. He's doing some dodgy business around here. This car. There we go. Looks slightly better now, at least to me. And yeah, all kinds of angles and whatever. We could add a bumper bar, but it's a modern car, so it would not look good with one. Not in my head, at least. And that's what we're thinking of right now. What goes on in my head. I think we can change the colour, so let's make that chrome. Try and give it a bit of a premium touch to it, here and there, where we can. And on here we go. Another chrome bit. There we go. You like so. There we are. We need a boot handle as well. That one can just go somewhere down here. Also, if your filler cap with the chrome door handles does look a little more natural. I should be going sporty, but I am seeming to make everything chrome and more luxury orientated, which is, I guess, just how I do things. This spoiler looks interesting. Yes, we're going with this. Although it doesn't at all fit with, really, the subtlety of the car, or what subtlety it should have, I'm going with it anyway. Bring you in a bit because you're not attached to anything, you're just floating. Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong monitor completely. That's not going to help. So, check that. There we go. It is kind of sporty. We need some tail lights, naturally, and I would give it a sunroof, but I don't think we have those on this version of the game yet, because it is a mod, or was a mod, when I played the other version of it, so I don't know. I think I'll do the next best thing if it lets me, because I do really want a sunroof. I'm just going to kind of cheat one in. We're using the grills. It'll look pretty poor, but, you know, it'll be something for now until we can get the proper sunroofs in the game. And I think that's slipped away from the centre. Nope, I don't know. I can't seem to centre it. Nope. Oh well. I'll have to give up on that idea then by the looks of things. So, I want quad exhaust. Try and make it look a bit more like a BMW, really. It's basically become a BMW by this point, or an ETK, or whatever other German manufacturer you like. Because I whip them off so much. So, duplicate that. Yes, indeed. You know what? I'm going to be different, actually. I've had a crazy idea, but I just know it's going to work. In a weird, weird way. Now, I've positioned them slightly wrong, but there's nothing wrong with the idea. Very TVR exhaust, that's for sure. The kind of thing they would do. Yeah, there we go. Don't know why or how I got an eco plate there, but somehow I did. And we'll go with the tail lights. I don't want something really old looking and ooh. They still look old. Super lights, yes. Sure, these will work. I mean, what could go wrong with them, really? They vaguely match our front lights even. Try not to bring them out too much. I want to keep them fairly high mounted. You know what? I actually kind of like those super lights. Although most people probably won't. Most people will probably hate them. I actually like them. Bring this down so it's kind of in line with the tail lights. Yeah, it has super tuning potential. You know what? It might though. Double wishbones all round, a powerful V6 and all-wheel drive, and it will be a V6. No need to worry about that. It could make a pretty good tuner. Also, imagine the potential for that exhaust. You wouldn't need to change exhaust pipes because there's so much potential to flow air out the back now without having to change it. And anything else we could really add? Miscellaneous fixtures. I think I'll add 4x4. 4x4. No, that's more of a Jeep kind of 4x4. And back into miscellaneous. Ah, we can change the wheels. They're not what you want on a sports car. And we have various wheels. Do we have anything else down here? We have these ones. I don't really think there's anything better than the standard, to be honest. I'll try coming back a bit later when I've made them bigger, but for the time being, no need to. Ooh, I see. That looks odd, but it looks odd, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to stick that on the back anyway. Quite a nicely made little thing, actually. As a little chrome Celine S7. Move it out here, just into that corner. And we can go and put a 4x4 badge on, because it will be four-wheel drive. Or all-wheel drive, more likely, but still, it's going to be having drive going to all the wheels, and that's why it's got a badge for it, I guess. Does that? No, that's just a badge. I think if I go sport, that kind of justifies the Celine S7 badge thingy. Sport. And then I can have a sport badge down here as well. Or maybe not actually, maybe just have the car, wherever that was. I'll just have this on both of the, what do you call it, fenders? I'll have it on both these bits of the car down here. Seems like another way to put it. Or should I just put sport? I don't know. I think they're a bit big, to be honest. Other than that, they do work there, but just a little large. You wouldn't put badges that big down there. It's just, it lacks the subtlety that you really want from it. I think I have to grab that one to move it though, not the other one on the other side. And there we go. There is our kind of design. Basically, it's a ETK from the front with hints of BMW, and a Supra from the rear with hints of BMW, naturally. So, I'm not doing too badly here. Although it's not really Ford Fusion levels of stuff. I think I'll go with a 90-degree V6 in my case now. The Ford, I forget what exact material it had on the engine, but it did have some kind of material, compacted graphite iron, that's it. And I don't see that here, that's the thing. I think we'll try single, or actually no. My original plan, dual overhead cam, but no turbos, because that way we might spend a bit more money on the head itself, but we don't have to spend all the money on turbos. It may be Alzi as well, the fancy material they're talking about, just with some fancy ad name. But I think I'm going to make a full aluminium engine. I don't really have anything against it. And I'll try and make it rev quite high, just in case it wants to blow up. But I may change the dimensions later. That word took a while to come out. I might change the dimensions later. And have I gone on longitudinal? I'm just thinking. Yeah, I have. It needs to be a transverse engine. We can't have a longitudinal engine in this because it's going to be a largely front-wheel drive car. At least not in the orientation I'm thinking of doing things. So it is a 2.7, as was the request for the engine to be. So I'll try cast iron, but I'll likely change it to forged. I don't want to go any further than really standard forged stuff. But I'll have to see how it goes, really. And see how it works for me. I can go VVT, sure. And no turbos, as I said. Direct injection per cylinder. And do you want per cylinder or twin? What's the cost difference? Because I don't think twin is that different. Cost. Not that much, so. How much is the difference, though, between these two? There is material cost 972, 25.7 something engineering time. Yeah. I'll go with multi-point then. Multi-point electronic injection because it's so much cheaper. The Ford might have direct injection, but when you're saving that much money, you know, I think the 5-valve per cylinder will be more beneficial personally to the engine. I could be wrong there, but that's what I'm thinking. I'll go with a standard intake, but I may change it to a performance one. Regular fuel, because it is a regular engine, and it may end up getting beaten someday down the line. Although after the 5-year mechanical warranty, we don't really have to worry about it, that has to be said. We'll go with a long tubular exhaust, and I don't know, that big, I guess. We want a reverse flow muffler, we want something fairly effective, and the engine is knocking. But we are already making 156 horsepower before I've adjusted anything, so that is, I guess, something. No, I just don't know what it's going to be capable of exactly. I mean, it's quite a large V6 by my standards, but it's not the very largest. Now, the cast iron stuff is holding up well so far, but when we increase the RPM, who knows what it's going to exactly do. It can take quite a few, though. Remember, it's similar to how I built the MD engine. It could put up with a lot more. There's valve float now, but I don't think that's anything too major. Reduce the size, no. Do we increase? We have dual. Might as well, and bypass valves. We can have that stuff, sure, why not? There we go, 191. Things are looking solid so far. Let's see how it runs. So that's basically the engine. I did try and take the head off so you could see it. It didn't go too well, but you know, what can you do? Transverse all-wheel drive is the standard, I think, for the Ford, so it's going to be the standard for us as well. It's the established way of mounting a V6, really. And why is it? It's changed the style of the headlights. Oh dear. I'll have to go back and change them a bit later, but I don't know why it would do that. It didn't move them or anything. It just changed the exact style of them. Now we have various automatics. The Ford has a 6-speed. I would go with a manual, but I think automatics are more popular in America where this car would retail, so that's why it's going to be an automatic in this case. We'll go with, I think, geared limited slip differentials or vicious. I think because it's relatively powerful, I'll go with some geared. Should be worthwhile. Go with some radials. We don't want to go too crazy. I'll start with hard long life. Can I fit 245s in the body lines? Ooh. It just about can. Just about can fit 245 tyres within the lines of the body. So I think I'll keep those on it. And they should give me some solid grip for this power output. We'll go with medium compound though to go with that. We don't need to go with crazy sports compound, but we do want a bit of extra grip. They are wider tyres, so, you know, it seems unnecessary to go with great compound and really wide tyres. I think we can make them wider as well. I think it's 19s on the Ford. I'm not certain of that, but I think it is. So, indeed, it will be 19s for us. And already, it started looking better. Would have looked better with the other headlights, but, you know, I do what I do. We have various technologies. I'll try vented discs front, solid discs rear. I'm not sure what the Ford uses, but this seems like a solid enough braking technique. Twin piston brakes, probably where I'm going to splurge on the car. Unless, let's not complain about braking yet. I'll come back to all this to get the size right, because I know it'll probably change, depending on what the game has to say about my technique. I'll go with a fully clad under tray, keep it going as quick as possible. I don't think we need active wing or cooling flaps. And we'll go with some brake airflow, some cooling airflow. Just give it plenty of airflow really to keep it running reliably for many years. And we can go with a premium interior maybe. And I don't know, I know the Mondeo went more upmarket than it was probably 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So, that's why I justify that. Can we have 3 seats? We can have a bench seat in the front. Wow. We could have 4 seats. Not sure why I would do that. Shame you can't have extra boot seats, actually, because it is an estate. So, you know, it has been done before. Not adult seats, but you have had kind of small children's seats done in the back of an estate. I know Mercedes did it, definitely. So, entertainment, no. We're gonna give them the standard infotainment, I think. Not gonna go crazy and give them all loads of fancy stuff. Now, if I scroll up on here, it'll tell me the electronics and stuff, I think, that the car has. Performance and power hand handling, that's it. We've got a 325 horsepower engine to compete with, by the way. I'll go with variable hydraulic power steering, so it's lighter at lower speeds. So that has anti-lock brakes, intelligent all-wheel drive, power assisted steering, yeah, which we've got. So we've got ABS, and it also, I believe, it has electronic stability control. I read somewhere else. 235, 45 R18s are what it's got. But that, it says 19-inch wheels. Even though R18, isn't that 18 inches? I don't know. Maybe I just read the specs wrong, but it seemed a little odd to me. I think we'll go with ESC plus lightning control. I don't know. Legacy control? I don't know, what could that be? I just have no idea what LC could be. I think I'll go with ESC anyway. Standard ESC. I'll go with advanced safety. It's a kind of car class where safety will be pretty important, a selling point. So that's why we want it to be advanced. Yeah, I think it looks fairly good in the grand scheme of how things have gone. So do we have advanced? Yes, we do. And air suspension, no. We'll have standard suspension or progressive suspension, better still, with adaptive dampers and semi-active sway bars, I think. But set up for comfort. I mean, this is still an everyday car. I don't know why it wides that high. Sport? It likes widening at sport setting. I don't know why it wides this high though. Seems very, very odd. So, oh, we have various tests, do we? So, normal perhaps? Normal might be good because it's going to be still fairly soft, but it's not going to be so hard as sport, but it's not going to be so soft as comfort. So, overall, a good balance, I feel, for this type of car in particular. The rear brake force is low compared to grip. So, overall, I think the roll angle is high. The roll... Okay. Does that fix it? No? Stiffer sway bars, okay. 3200. Where are you going to fix? I am employing stiffer sway bars. What do you want me to do? What do you want from me? I'm really trying stiffer sway bars, but how stiff do they have to be before it just accepts it? 3800 on the front. And 3200. Yeah, I'm on sport suspension now, but hey, I did something with the sway bars, so it doesn't roll as much, even though they're semi-active and they should somewhat compensate for it. I don't know. 27 miles per gallon already, that's not bad. There's our V6. What's the weight balance? 54.4. That is pretty impressive, actually, in the grand scheme of things. Probably because it's an estate. Somehow that struggled to come to mind. Anyway, I do have some final work to do. 1707 kilos seems fairly reasonable for the class of vehicle. And what speed can we do? Does it say? I don't know. About 147. So anyway, I'll finish off the work on this car and then take it around the track and I'll return to show what I have done. Okay, so here I have the final vehicle, which has set its time and everything. Here's the engine. It is a 2.7 litre V6, as before, 90 degrees as well. It's basically the same. I have changed the dimensions some, so it's got a slightly higher bore, as well as changing the internals to forged. I've used a heavy duty forged instead of lightweight forged, as it doesn't seem to make a difference for power and it's cheaper to engineer. I guess it takes less time to engineer, which is always a positive, so that's why I've used that. I've got fairly middling compression, very high cam profile, that's how it gets most of its power, and it is naturally aspirated. Still multi-point injection, not direct injection. Ooh, turbochargers. Now, not today, but maybe someday I'll be able to make 450 plus horsepower from it with a pair of turbos. That'll be interesting. Direct injection as well. It's got a lot of potential, although I can't really rev it higher, as you'll see. I've adjusted the bore and the stroke. Also, the, what was it, crank? That is still cast iron, since I could make it better, but the weakest point remains the heavy duty forged. I'm not doing the car any long-term harm that I can see by changing the crankshaft to cast iron. Also, if we go along here, see various things. Ignition timing is quite high. I can tweak it. I think I deliberately did that to keep the RPM slightly lower because it's already ridiculously high. Fuel mixture is at the lowest point because it's better for economy if I do it that way. And exhaust, I've got two 50mm dual exhaust, which seems to be optimal. It's still 7 horsepower less than the Ford, but I think given that I've not got turbochargers and it's going to be a much lighter engine, that's probably not an issue. You'll see the exhausts, there we go. This is kind of weird because it's a transverse engine, so why would the exhaust go off that way? I don't know, probably because it's a test bench. But anyway, I'll let you hear it. Try taking away some bits of the engine so you can hopefully see it a little better. I think if we take away the head and the block, that should do it. Take away the sump as well. The parts really do move quickly. There you go, now we've got all the seizure-inducing bits over. I can move on. Also, the weight, 136 kilos, not too bad actually. Not much worse than a 2-litre inline 4 with a turbo, so I'm quite proud of that. We have 0 to 62 in 6.2 seconds. I don't know why it suddenly decided to be 6.2. It was 5.3. And I don't know, honestly. But they're basically the gear ratios I was using. That's kind of very tight early on, as you would expect. It does 23 miles per gallon, but that is a completely different figure to the Ford, which is American, and this is a UK figure, so I have no idea how it's going to compare in that particular respect. I've got geared limited slip differentials all around. I think I went through a lot of this. Quality is on 0 on here, although as I forgot to mention, it's on +2 on all the engine components just to help it get to that power level. It didn't go too wild, but it is +2. The power distribution as well, that is 45 front, 55 rear. I got a good time with those two, same exact time actually. However, I moved 60% to the rear and it actually went slower, so slightly slower. So I'm guessing that that's kind of the optimal power balance, 50-50 to 55-50. We've got 19-inch wheels, same as before really. I've not changed anything about the wheels or the tyres. What I have changed, however, is the brakes. They are pretty big, 315mm, although the wheels don't really show it because they're huge. They are pretty huge vented discs front and rear, only they're 2 piston vented discs on the front and they're 1 piston vented discs on the rear. That's what it seemed to be happy with though, you know. Even though the brakes do seem large, I guess it is a very powerful car, so we have to give it the best performance available. I guess to a point it'll always complain though, unless you have the best brakes available for performance. So if I was building this as just a standard economy version, but still on medium tyres and everything, they would still be asking that I put 300+mm brakes on, even though it really wouldn't be necessary. We've got the same under tray, the same front wings, rear wings, brake airflow, cooling airflow, quality. I have gone for +2 quality on the interior, and +2 on the electronics to help enhance reliability and the feel of the car a little. And oh my, what have I done there? I didn't know I grabbed the headlight, but at some point I didn't know it ended up under there. Right, we have to sort this out. You will... Where's it gone? Where's he gone to? There, okay. You can get deleted because we really don't need you here. Ah! Sorry! I ruined my car. Oh dear. Right, so... These need, no, I don't know. It looks a lot angrier now. That'll have to do. It looked a bit better before, but I kind of messed up my car. Anyway, back on to what I was talking about. The car is set up for sport now as well, I'll mention that. Standard quality on safety. I don't know when it went to advanced 10s. Oh yeah, I did that because it was important, didn't I, for the kind of class of vehicle. I thought I put it on standard, but apparently not. We've got kind of an oversteery car though, even though it is all-wheel drive, so that should make for some interesting driving characteristics. But the game is complaining about nothing though. I did stiffen up the sway bars, as it asked me to. And it weighs 1756 kilograms, so quite heavy but not too bad given what this vehicle is. It does 175 as well, so it says, but with those aerodynamics I wouldn't really trust it at that kind of speed. And 5.34 to 60, there we go, even though it was saying 6 seconds before. I mean, it goes a bit crazy at times, really. For markets, you'll see I managed to keep it under 30,000 while still making a huge chunk of profit. I can get it just over 2,700, but, you know, I can make a huge chunk of profit there. And still have it fairly priced, I think, for what you get. We've got the course here. I'm forgetting everything right now. 2:22.26 is the time it's set, which is the same as the prison van for kids, if I can just find it on the leaderboard. And just above Boaty Muck hatchback, I can speak, and above the coupe non-turbo. Now, the prison van for kids was basically a Zafira VXR competitor. I think it might have been front-wheel drive, and it had a V6 of a similar kind of power, actually, so, you know, it kind of makes sense. Even if that was front-wheel drive, remember, it had still got a similar V6, a similar amount of power and all, so that's what you expect from it. It's also just below the Retro Mabob V8, which isn't bad. I mean, an older supercar, I think from the 70s, but still, a old supercar, not like the kind of car you would imagine it's competing with, and that was more powerful as well, so I've not done bad there. Speeding with Bob as well, it's just below the sports car thingy. That had soft suspension though, so you know it was kind of held back by that. And the glued banana pickup ute thing, which was surprisingly quick actually in hindsight. Anyway, there we go. I think I've done okay. The weight balance, that's the other thing. I was meaning to mention it, but I didn't get around to it. 53.6. For a transverse car, which is presumably originating from a front-wheel drive line, I'm actually quite impressed by that. Because it manages to beat a lot of rear-wheel drive cars for weight balance. Even though it is an estate, to be fair, it's still quite an achievement, I feel. But anyway, there's not really more I can say about it. I can go and show you the other markets where it really becomes a utility sport, luxury, family sport, premium. They seem to be the categories it most competes with, I guess, in all three regions. No, not utility sport, luxury around here. It's utility premium. And there we go. So, not the best car in the world, but it sure put up a solid performance. And my mind was just trying to track what I said there. Oh well, it came out now. 318.1 horsepower. Yeah, it's over 318. Still, I'm going to leave it here for today. So I'll give you a good look at the beautiful 90-degree V6. And I'll say goodbye until another day. Also, performance intake is added.